Welcome back to the Personal Freedom Center with life coach and author Freedom L. I want to invite you today to take a short peek with me at the highest paid banking and financial CEOs and CFOs. In light of everything that's going on in our economy and what has been an ongoing problem is that starvation and hunger all over the world and people losing their homes, their cars, and their jobs, for various reasons. I want to know your opinion of what you think about what these CEOs and CFOs are making, especially when the banks are failing, right? And bringing us into a new age of digital money that is very intrusive and that will detail every part of our life and expose it to them so that they can control us like they're doing in China, and other countries are following along. Okay, so we're going to look real quick at the highest paid banking and financial CEO. So it might be a financial company where they deal in investing in stocks and bonds. And this one is Zions Bank Corporation, and it says there's a 3 million MSCI, right? And their shareholder return, this one is 62%. That's a lot. Okay, the next page, and this is in 2022. Okay, so the next page over here, we'll start getting a little bit into banks like JP Morgan, 28 million. Goldman Sachs, some Bank of America, some more popular names that you might be familiar with. Citigroup, American Express, all up in the 20,000, near or over, almost to 30,000 million, figures. All right, Wells Fargo, 17 million, and this is every year. Can you imagine what we would do? I think that would be enough money for me for the rest of my life. Okay, and most of you would probably say the same thing. Now, where are they getting this money from? Makes you wonder. All right, so NASDAQ, PNC, Synchrony Bank, 13 million, they're up there. Capital One, 16 million, and they have a lot of products with high interest rates for lower income people. Now, BB&T, some of these might be more familiar with you. I'm not familiar with them, but you still see they're in the millions. And this is supposed to be a failing economy. People are losing their jobs, right? KeyCorp, CEO, right? And these are the shareholder returns that they have. M&T Bank currently right down here. Robert Wilmers, 4 million, right? So that's probably one of the lowest ones that I've seen. Okay, Warren Buffett. For some reason, I just don't believe that. Okay, now let's go to the next one. All right, now this is Patrons. Spotlight on Chief Financial Officers 2022 update. And this website is cappartners.com. And I apologize for my mouse. The mouse pad is really sensitive. So you can do your own research, but there's a lot of information out here. CAP's report examines compensation outcomes for chief financial officers, CFOs, relative to chief executive officers, CEOs. This analysis summarizes 2021 compensation actions among 130 companies with median revenue of $14 billion. Additional information on criteria used to develop the samples is included in the appendix, okay? So if you want more information, it's always good. Just like when you're reading a book, look up the footnotes and the references that they're quoting. All right, so study highlights of the base salary. More CFOs received increases in 2021 compared to 2020, with the median increase generally in line with 2020. Approximately 7% more CFOs received base salary increases this past year Over 62% of companies made salary increases for CFOs in 2021. 42% made increases for CEOs. Among executives who received salary increases, the median increase was 4% for both CEOs and CFOs. This increase was generally in line with the prior year's increase of 4.1 and 4.3. Okay. Among the total samples, the median increase for CFOs was 2.25, similar to last year's 2.7. And they also, since 58% of CEOs did not receive an increase, the median increase for CEOs is 0. Okay, well, that's nice to know. Some of them did not. 58% did not receive an increase. Ooh. I'm pretty sure they have enough money, to last for the rest of their life already. But then again, the more money you have, the bigger and more expensive items you buy, so they could end up in the same ratio of, brokenness that we are, or, wealth that we are, or, living paycheck to paycheck, but I very much doubt it. Okay. Now, study highlights, I read that part already. The bonuses, long-term incentives. Okay, and it says 2021 saw the largest year-over-year increases at median in the last 10 years. The last time we saw increases in the 15% range was after the financial crisis in 2008 and 2009. Okay, medium increases at that time was around the time when the banks got money, for bail. They got bailed out, and that was a big farce. The car companies as well. In 2008, 1.6 billion of the bank's bailout went to excess. If you see right here, it went to bailout. Okay, banks that are getting taxpayer bailouts awarded their top executives 1.6 billion in salaries, bonuses, and other benefits last year. Again, this is in December 2008. You can see the date here. Okay, the rewards came even at banks where poor results last year foretold the economic crisis that sent them to Washington for government rescue. Some trimmed their excess compensation due to lagging bank performance, but still forked over multi-million-dollar executive pay packages. Benefits include cash bonuses, stock options, personal use of company jets and chauffeurs, home security, club memberships, country club memberships, and professional money management. An AP review of federal securities document found the total amount given to nearly 600 executives would cover bailouts costs for many of the 116 banks that have so far accepted tax dollars to boost their bottom lines. That makes me just want to read that again, okay? Again, listen very carefully. The total amount given to nearly 600 executives would cover the bailout costs for many of the 116 banks that have so far accepted tax dollars to boost their bottom line. Now, to me, that's saying it would cover all of them, right? What do you think? Representative Barney Frank, chairman of the House Financial Services Committee and a long-standing critic of Executive Largesse, said the bonus tallied by the AP revealed amount to bribe to get them to do the jobs for which they were well paid in the first place. Most of us sign on to do jobs and we do them the best that we can, etc. Among the findings, the average paid to each of the bank tops executives was $2.6 million in salary yearly. I'm adding that. Bonuses and benefits. Okay. Lloyd Blankfein, President and Chief Executive Officer at Goldman Sachs, took home nearly $54 million in compensation last year. The company's top 5 executives received a total of $242 million. This year, Goldman will forego cash and stock bonuses for his 7 top-paid executives. They will work for their base salaries of $600,000, the company said, facing increasing concern by its own shareholders on an executive payment. The company described its pay plan last spring as essential to retain and motivate executives whose efforts and judgments are vital to our continued success. By setting their compensation at appropriate and competitive levels, oh boy, and appropriate levels, Goldman spokesman Ed Kennedy declined to comment beyond that written report. The New York-based company on December 16th reported its first quarterly loss since it went public in 1999. Even where banks cut back on pay, some executives were left with 7 or 8-figure compensation that most people can only dream about. And Richard D. Fairbank, the chairman of Capital One Financial Corporation, took $1 million hit in compensation after his company had a disappointing year, but still got $17 million in stock options. The McLean, Virginia-based company received $3.56 billion in bailout money on November 14th. And John Thain, executive officer of Merrill Lynch, topped all of the corporate bank bosses with $83 million in earnings last year. Thain, a former chief operating officer for Goldman Sachs, took the reins of the company in December 2007, avoiding the blame for a year in which Merrill lost $7.8 billion. Since he began to work late in the year, he earns $57,692 in salary and $15 million signing bonus and an additional $68 million in stock options. Isn't that great? Your tax dollars at work, chauffeurs and club dues. The AP reviews comes in amid sharp questions about the bank's commitment to the goals of the Troubled Asset Relief Program, or the TARP program, a law designed to buy bad mortgages and other troubled assets. Last month, the Bush administration changed the program's goals, instructing the Treasury Department to pump tax dollars directly into banks in a bid to prevent a wholesale economic collapse. The program set restrictions on some executive compensation for participating banks, but did not limit salaries and bonuses unless they had the effect of encouraging excessive risk to the institution. Banks were barred from giving golden parachutes to departing executives and deducting some executive pay for tax purposes. Now, I've never heard of golden parachute, and I don't know if that's real. It probably is. Banks that got bailout funds also paid out millions for home security systems, private chauffeured cars, and club dues. Some banks even paid for financial advisors. Wells Fargo of San Francisco, which took $25 billion in taxpayer bailout money. Wells Fargo of San Francisco, which took $25 billion in taxpayers' money. Wells Fargo of San Francisco, which took $25 billion in taxpayers' bailout money, gave its top executives up to $20,000 each to pay personal financial planners. At Bank of New York Mellon Corporation, Chief Executive Robert P. Kelly's stipend for financial planning services came to $66,000 on top of his $975,000 salary and $7.5 million bonus. His car driver cost $178,000, almost $179,000. Kelly also received $846,000 in relocation expenses. I don't know. I think he's moving to Mars. Including help selling his home in Pittsburgh and purchasing one in Manhattan, the company said. Goldman Sachs' tab for releasing cars and drivers ran as high as $233,000 per executive. The firm told its shareholders this year that financing, counseling, and chauffeurs are important in giving executives more time to focus on their jobs. J.P. Morgan Chase chairman James Dimon ran up $211,182 in private jet travel tab last year when his family lived in Chicago and he was commuting to New York. The company got $25 billion in bailout funds. Okay, so this is a long article, and I think that we're about so basically saying that the tougher that we are in the executives that come to Washington, the fewer will come for a bailout. But I don't know, Americans and other people, it seems like they just let these corporations and the Treasury get away with bad behavior. I mean, it's probably the same way that we treat our children. You know, we let them get away with bad behavior, cussing, swearing, hitting, fighting, and carrying guns to school. Who knows what this world is coming to? We have to stop allowing these corporations to run away with our money and getting away with bad behavior. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, silence is acceptance. And as long as we are silent, then we continue to allow things that are making our lives unbearable acceptable and to continue. And so they just continue doing what they want to. And we think that we don't have the power to get together and do anything about it. Okay, just one video, I don't know, maybe what do you call it, a signature paper that you pass around. Get together in small groups, boycott. I mean, do whatever you have to if that's something that's important to you. Or get out of the system. I mean, there's another opportunity and another idea right there. So now, again, just taking a look at M&T Bank Corporation, which is one of the lower ones on the scale, and their compensation here. And I wanted you to see the breakdown in their pay. So the base pay here is $775,000. The bonus and non-equity incentive compensation, I'd like to know what that means in a little more detail, is $1.5 million. So the total cash compensation is $2,275,000. Yeah. Okay, 2 billion? I don't know. It looks like there's 6 zeros, so it's 2 million. Okay, so now when you look at all of these things combined, it is a pretty good job, right? A good job to have. Yeah, I was getting ready to say it doesn't make more than Steph Curry. But anyhow, let's look at the total equity and all of these things combined, and it comes to almost $5 million. And this is all in 1 year. And this is for senior executive, vice president, CEO, and highest paid banking patrons. And this is CFOs right here, okay? So we did look at this, and you can go back here if you want, and even just type in some more. You'll find some other pages that give you a lot of information that you can sit back and, make yourself feel good or bad or any other way it comes to you. But I mean, just really think about these things in light of everything that's happening, in the world today, and that has been happening, and that is just increasingly getting worse. The banks are failing, people are hungry, losing their jobs and their homes, etc. And I want to know what you guys think about it. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. Please leave your like under the video, and hopefully, it will make a difference in somebody's thought process in their life, and maybe we can make a change. Now, even so, money today, it looks a little different than it did, but it doesn't matter. If you don't have enough money to buy real money, which is gold and silver, maybe invest in some Bitcoin, which I'm not including in that real money category, but you own it and it's under your, I want to say domain, where you control it, and it's more private than the digital dollar that's coming out relatively soon, and already in some countries, which is very intrusive. Okay, so, and the banks are piling up gold, piling up gold, piling up gold, but the digital dollar is really not backed by anything. I mean, it's just like the dollar bill. What was it backed by? And what are they buying these billions of dollars of gold with? Right? So there's a lot that you can learn. Check out my page, thepersonalfreedomcenter.com, and look at some of the things that I have been doing and teaching others how to do to change their financial situation, future, and life. Thank you so much for stopping by. Peace and blessings.
Do you ever feel like you've lost a sense of purpose or direction in any aspect of your life? Maybe you wonder, what next step should I make in my career or my personal life? It's very natural to feel a bit lost from time to time with the unforeseen and unknown twists and turns that everyone experiences in their life, and it's hard to have all the answers. That's why you should turn to a life coach, a dedicated specialist that can help you think through tough decisions and offer sound guidance to making a fulfilling decision about any hurdle that you're facing. We urge you to contact our office today to start the conversation. We're here and ready to help shed light on what direction will make the most positive impact in your life. Call us today. We're ready to listen.
253-394-1821